See ya. So that is the boat gone, and we are in day one of isolation now. They have dropped me on this little beachhead right in the middle of the jungle. It's pretty dense up behind me, and I have very limited gear, which I'm going to run through in a sec. And now it's up to me for the next 2-3 days, 2 nights, 3 days, to put everything that I've learned over the last week and a half into practice and try survive out here in the Amazon. So the first thing I'm going to do is, whenever you're in a survival situation, is just to stop. So that's actually an acronym as well, so S for stop. Just pause for a second, compose yourself, and then T is for thinking. So think, what do I need? And right now I've only got a small canteen of water, so water is going to be my first priority. Thankfully I've got some purification drops, so I can drink straight from the river. So that should be okay for an hour or so. And then I'll need to come back and refill here, so I'm going to want to build camp somewhere close to this river, somewhere in that dense bush. I'll have to chop my way through. And then once I get in there, orientation. So I need to be somewhere where, firstly, after I've got my water, second priority is building a shelter right now. So it's probably around, I'm guessing, 9:30, 10 AM. I don't know, because they've taken away my watch. So I want to get my shelter up off the jungle floor as soon as possible, because when night comes, or when it even starts getting slightly dark, you get everything crawling around the floor. So scorpions, spiders, the worst being ants. I've had so many ant bites already this trip. So get my shelter sorted, and I need to find a few different trees which will help me do that. Now if I can find a spot and take even just an extra half hour finding a spot with all those trees around, close to the water, is going to make everything so much easier for me. So that is my first action plan when I get through that bush, find the perfect spot for my shelter. And then when I do that, P, plan. So plan which part of my shelter goes up first. I'm going to try construct the bed first. We're in dry season now, so chances of torrential downpour are slim. Although actually, don't know if you can see, it's looking pretty overcast at the moment, so chance we might get a rain shower at some point today. But getting myself up off the jungle floor is priority, and then after that I'll work on a roof. And then once the shelter's done, I think it's going to be, depending on the time and how dark it is, it's either going to be food. So I can chop down, there's some trees, I'll see if there's any fruit that I can have, or otherwise it's straight into fishing. And then finally fire. I need to get a fire going well before dark, just to make sure it's all roaring, and I need time to collect plenty of firewood, because whenever you feel you've got enough firewood, you definitely need 3 times more. So that's the order of priority, I think, right now. So I'm going to head into the jungle and just see if I can find a spot to clear, sit down, think for a while. I'll run through my gear and see where we go from there. Just coming up off the beachhead now, and this is all pretty dense. I need to ideally find somewhere where there are big trees, because if there are big trees, they will take all the sunlight with high branches, which means they should have smaller plants underfoot. And that's where I'll hopefully find some at the camp. Moving through this is all quite tough at the moment. Okay. A little bit clearer here. Already, I mean, I've only been walking a couple of minutes, but I'm completely soaked through with sweat. It's just so hot and humid. So I'm going to want to find 4 posts relatively close together, and that should help me form the basis of my shelter. So I'm going to drop my gear here now. I'll do a quick run through and then I'm going to go look for the shelter. Right, so what I've got here is my gear. Very limited stuff. This is to basically simulate if we'd crashed or our boat had washed up, what we would have been able to take with us. So I have my belt kit here. So I've got my machete, this pack here. In there I've got a bit of fire lighting kit, my bug spray, a compass, and this tub here is my fishing line. And in here I've got, like I said, my fire kit. And I've got a whistle in there and a fire steel as well. Close that up, do not want to lose any of that. Then this yellow pouch, that's the pouch I'm never going to go into. So it's the radio in case I want to come back. And then over here I have my water canteen. So there's a litre in there at the moment. I'm going to need to be drinking about 6 litres a day out here, so that's not going to last me very long. And then I've got a little Ziploc bag, so this is mainly just my anti-malarials, first aid kit, and my camera gear and chargers, so nothing in there that's going to help me survive. And then finally I have a little fishing rod that I made myself out of a stick. Tied a bit of fishing string and a hook to the end of it. Don't know if you can see that there. Yeah, there you go. And my bow. It's a traditional Amerindian bow. And I've got 3 hunting arrows here in case I do spot anything. Small chance of that happening. And that's something I've had quite a bit of practice with over the last week or so. Right, so I'm starting to walk through. I'm taking my bow with me, just on the off chance I do see something. When I'm looking, I also want to take a note of the trees around me, anything that could be of use. So here is a teenage cookroot plant. You can see the leaves here can be cut and they can be used for the roof of my shelter. So any small thing like that that could help me that's nearby, I need to take note of now while I'm walking a small distance away from where I started. The bank for about 15 minutes or so now. Still not happy with any of the shelter spots I've been looking for. See, there's 4 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. That one's a bit too flimsy. And the space is too big. That's going to take way too much effort to get the roofing across that and build a bed. I want something a bit more compact. I'm happy to do this for about half an hour to an hour. No issues. Because I rushed my first shelter. Ended up having to redo it 3 times. In training phase. So it's worth spending the time to get these things right first time. So we'll keep looking. So as I'm walking, see right here, this is a liana vine, and this can be useful. Just need to double check there's no deadfall, snakes or anything like that. Should just be able to pull it straight off the tree. go. Can collect that and use that as a bit of cordage later on at some point. Just stick that in my pocket. Maybe use that to lash down my bed. And continue searching for a shelter spot. And only a few steps away from that spot that I was just saying for a camp, I found this, which is potentially even better. So, 2 sticks here. This is the start of the roof. This is my working area where I can put a fire. It's only thin here, but it widens out. So 1 bedpost there, and the other there. Now this is going to save me some effort because I can jam a log in there. Don't need a fork stick for that. Can go straight across. Probably jam another one up the top that can go across, support the roof. So it's 2 fork sticks I've eliminated. Need a lower one there for the bedpost, upper one there for the roof post. And then they come almost in a triangle here, attached to these 2. And I just need a roof rack here, 1 fork stick going up, and that could probably support the weight of the roof. So I've eliminated another fork stick. So it's 1, 2, 3 fork sticks that I've eliminated. It's a small area, and that's going to be a lot less effort for me to construct. So I think I'm going to start clearing this area now and getting on with the chopping. Added benefit is, this is the tree of life, several tree of lives. That's a food source, as well as being great for leaves. I've got a teenage tree of life here, very easy to cut down. More leaves for my shelter roofing or for my bed. I've got a baby cookrit there, leaves I can use to steam fish. So there's a few resources right by my bed, which is always handy. And this is exactly why cutting down trees in the rainforest is hard. Because of all the canopy, everything gets tied up. But this should, I get it all caught from the vines, provide me with a lot of wood for my bed, headrest, 2 sturdy pieces of wood to go across, and maybe some of my roof rafters as well. But it's a lot of work, which is why I have to make sure the shelter's nice and compact. Do not want to be chopping loads of these. There we go. Alright, so here I basically just cleared my working area. Clearing the leaves means I can see what's underneath. No scorpions, spiders, ants, anything like that might be hiding in all this. Gives me space to work as well. God, I am sweating after chopping that 1 tree. So if this shelter works as I envisaged, hopefully that'll save me chopping too many more. We shall see. So this needs to wedge in there, go across to that. So, moment of truth. Wedge that in there, like that. Supported there, just need a fork stick on there, and that will hold that upright. Get another one going from that branch to there, headboard across here, sideboard across there, another one maybe about here. That'll get me up off the jungle floor, sleep facing that way, fire here. That'll keep away all the bugs. Right, this should work. Just need to make a fork stick for this next, I think. Right, so I have a fork stick here, and I'm going to wedge this up, cut it down to size, and that will hold up one piece of my shelter. One that needs to go in here. Can even wedge it against there. That's it. See, opposing forces. That is wedged in there, nice and tight. Taking those branches, wedged in there against this tree, fork stick holding it in place, wedged against the base of that trunk. So, there you go. Easily takes my weight. Not that I weigh too much. Thank God. And that is one part of the bed frame. Oh, feel much better already. Get the other part across here. Same trick with the fork stick there. And then laying the bedding board should be fairly straightforward. There's just a plant I need to find to do that. But let's get the other post up first. And I can probably use the tree I cut down earlier. So let's measure and mark that. So before I start cutting that next bit to size, it's time to hydrate little and often. The amount of sweat that's coming off me at the moment is ridiculous, so I need to constantly replenish that because I don't want to get a heat stroke. Right, good to go. So, chop through that very quick, much quicker. Right, now hopefully, God, I really hope, because I do not want to be chopping down another one of these trees. Hopefully, this so to there and to there. Perfect, got a bit of space as well. And there we go. 4 corners of my shelter. Thankfully I'm a small person, so small and light, so these don't need to be overly sturdy, and my lying space doesn't need to be that big. Saves me a bit of effort. Now I just need to get a couple of fork sticks, one this end, like that one there. And I'm going to need to put one here, dig it into the ground a bit, and then we're good. Okay, so opposing forces. This is this branch here, this branch there, and then I tidy up this fork stick over here. This is probably the weakest out of all of them. Just make sure. like that, like that. It's pretty sturdy. So please hold. Okay, here we go. Because I'll be lying here. When my weight's evenly distributed across both these branches, the other one's definitely much stronger. Of my head, torso there, that's where the main bulk of my weight will be. That'll be the strong point, that corner. I think we'll be good. Right, so that's the bed frame done. Now is finding the plant that is going to provide me with my bedding. Here we have some. What you're looking for is these fern type leaves here. Cluster of them with a thin pole in the middle. This is the cookrit, or the tree of life. This is in its adolescent phase. And so this one in the middle with no leaves, don't cut that. If you cut that, it kills the plant. What you can do though is cut everything else around it from this stump. And these things here, very easy to cut through, and also nice and bit of spring to them. That will be good for the bed slats. It's great. I'm literally 5 steps away from my camp. So I can cut these down, just make sure they're all caught up in vines. Should be able to hold some of these. You can see you can go through them really easy, no effort at all. Just make sure I'm not bringing any wasp hives down on me either. I've already been stung quite a few times on this trip. Right, so that is one. Oh, there's a frog. That is one. I'll get another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of this. So this plant, there's another one over there, and that should be actually enough for the bed slats. If I measure, chop, if I've got the leafy bit on the end, keep that for the roof or for making my bed more comfortable. Right, time to measure and cut these bed slats. Right. So at the moment, this is how my bedding's looking. I've put in some beams of short, thin wood, and I've interspersed it with the cookrit stems to give it support and a bit of springiness. It's not knocking the camera. But yeah, enough to support my weight so far. So I need probably about the same amount again, I would say. And then it should be comfy enough. So carry on with this. And here we finally have the bed. Minus bedding, of course. It's taken me longer than I expected, but It's a little bigger than I initially planned, so I can roll about a little bit. Moment of truth. Let's see. Okay, easy. Just get that ant off. Huh. Oh. Could actually just fall asleep right now. I need to make this more comfy though. So next, leaves, padding, all that stuff. Hope it doesn't rain. Right. So for the bedding, all I'm doing is taking these spare cookrit leaves that I chopped earlier and just layering them one by one until I have a nice mattress. What I'm going to do is keep doing that, and I'm going to get rid of all these bits sticking up, lash it all down a few times, then add another layer, lash that down again. That should hopefully be enough. A bit more work left to do. Doesn't really need to be too neat at this stage, because I'm going to tie it all down, and depending on how comfy that is, I might just add another quick top layer. There's my jungle mattress. Okay, already much more comfy. Definitely needs another layer or two. So, lashing it down. I'm going to use this this vine that I picked up earlier, bush rope. Here's the end of it. Okay. And this will be strong enough. Down over there. Up here. There. Be strong enough, doesn't need to be too tight. More of the middle. nice spider that just went past there. Now I'm threading them the right way up, just one by one through here. Okay. All right. Hold there for a second. Yeah, this is fine. Can't even feel the wood anymore. This is good. I can keep adding to this whenever I feel like it to make it more comfy. But let's start work on the roof next, I think. There we go. That's the two roof beams. So that one you can see, just fork stick there and a fork stick there. The one that I just put in. And this one, which I made slightly higher, so we've got an incline that'll, if there's any rain, it'll slide off down the back. Luckily, again, I had planned this, that I can wedge in, no fork stick required. And what I actually did was, this had a little fork at the end. Now the pressure on that means that it actually holds pretty solid, doesn't move. And it only needs to support some leaves, so hopefully that won't slip. Saves me having to cut 2 more fork sticks. So I'm going to add the roof slats and then slowly pile leaves on top, and that will be my roof. Right, so here is the roof, or the shell of the roof done. So you can see I've just put in a few rafters now. I only needed 2 or 3, or 3 here. I might add another if needed, but probably won't. All I need to do now is find leaves to go across the top, much like I've done for my bedding. I think I'm probably slightly ahead of where I want it to be at the moment, which is great. So I think I'm going to probably try and solve 2 problems in one go. So right now I've expended a lot of calories building this so far. I need some food, but then also, as I say, I need leaves for the roof. So what I'm going to do is try and find a tree that will provide me with both and cut it down. It will take a while, Getting to the food will also take a while, but hopefully I can solve two problems at once. Let's see if I can find the tree first. Start hunting for this tree. I am running low on water. I've got very little left now. I should have probably drunk more. So what I'm going to do is head back to the river, refill, purify the water before I start. Don't want to sink into this too much. Basically, just go, just get back up the riverbank. Obviously I can't drink this straight away, so I have here in the red pouch the bottle of iodine, 3 drops for a litre, 1, 2, 3. Give that 15 minutes and it should be good to drink. Right. So while not exactly the tree I was looking for, this one up here, you can see with the big husks and the fern type leaves. That's an adult kukrit, same one that we were chopping down for the bedding, but in adult form. I mentioned it earlier, the tree of life. Hopefully with this one, yep. So here, you find these nuts at the base of them sometimes. Hit and miss, that one is a miss, I think. Yep. Oh no. So, if you're lucky, you get, make sure you can see this, you get one of these little things. It's a little grub that lives inside these nuts, and they're good bait for fishing, and they are also edible. Tastes quite nutty, so I'll find a few of those and hopefully they'll help me catch fish later on. Tree I've been looking for, and that is the harder palm. You see I've just cleared all the small shoots around, left the main middle one. You can see that is a very tall tree, but right at the top is something that I can eat, and like I say, dual purpose, I can use the leaves for the shelter. So I just have to chop through this. What you do is, direction you want it to fall, check that there's nothing that's going to prevent it, or pick the direction you want it to fall. That probably looks best. If I put it through there, it's going to get caught on this tree. I might be able to slide it down, but might as well just try straight through here. So that's where you want it to go. You cut a notch in here. So you want to basically cut a V to the halfway, or a half V. And then where that starts, cut another notch on this side. Weight of the tree will make it fall in the direction that you cut those notches. That's the first notch done. Well, it didn't fall the way I wanted, but should hopefully be able to salvage this. Yes, okay. What we want is this stuff right at the top here. This stuff right here is the edible bit. So I can get 100 ounce coming out of that now. Okay. So I cut here, take that back, and all the leaves, they can also come back from my roof. Right, let's do that. I'm going to leave all the leaves attached for now, get it back to camp, prepare it quickly, have a bit of food, and put the roof on. So, here's the heart of palm that I cut down. This is where all the leaves are attached. Just cut this chunk out. It's at the very top of the tree. What I want is right in the middle, inside. And it's got these layers like an onion around it. Basically stop predators like monkeys, birds getting to the actual fruit. And I just need to cut through those layers to get to the core. So, never practiced this, but saw it being done. So. And that is effectively one layer off. I've got to do another 4 or 5 of those. It's quite a lot of effort still, even after you've cut down the tree. And this is the end product. It's a lot of work. You saw the massive husk that I had. This is all you're left with. This is heart of palm. It's all edible. In fact, you get this in fancy restaurants in London. It doesn't last though, that's the only thing. You can see already it's going brown very quickly. It was all white, so as soon as oxygen gets to this, it starts to decay. So you have to eat it all. But this piece, 1,000 calories, so worth the effort. This will do me for the whole day now, this block. And I've already also got another block the same size here. So you can survive out here if you're a vegetarian. So I'd say my roof's been on maybe 15, 20 minutes. But already I have a spider who's made a web off of it. Great. Now that I've eaten, had some water, back to shelter work, so I'm putting the roofing on at the moment. You see just layering leaves on top, the heart of palm that I chopped down. And once I've layered a few, you've got all these bits hanging down. It's basically just got to thatch them up through the adjacent leaves so that nothing is dropping down. Because any leaf that is basically hanging down in the shelter, that's a path for water to run, and I'm going to get drips coming through. Once I've done the base layer here, then I can just layer more and more leaves on top until basically you don't get any gaps of sunlight. And then I know it's effectively waterproof. It's gonna take a while to get through all these. So here we go. My jungle shelter all done now. There's the roof on. So we go under here. Here's the bed I'll be sleeping on. As you can see, the roof I've cross-stitched a lot of the leaves. Still some gaps there, but now I'll just put some big broad leaves on top of that. So the basis is all there. And then down here, I'll just clear a little area. I'll put my fire. I'll put a small fire there. And maybe over here, if I catch anything, I'll set up a grill. So, I mean, that's the next step now, is fishing for food, which I quite enjoy. Low effort, high reward. And fire. So I think at the moment I'll start collecting firewood, just so that I'm not caught short for some reason. Firewood, once you think you've collected enough, you've got to go collect 3 times as much, because it burns very quickly. And I want to try keep a fire rolling through the night, just to keep the smoke up, get rid of any insects around my bed. It'll help. So I need a lot of firewood on hand. So that's the next step, finding firewood. And I was just about to go out to collect some firewood. I don't know if you can see this. Hang on, let me just grab my machete. But underneath my bed, where is he? There he is. Let me just adjust the camera. That is a wolf spider. They can move very quickly. Venomous as well. You can see there. So that is what I'm going to have crawling around my bedside. I need to clear a few more of these leaves, because that's what they like walking through. And then hopefully he won't be anywhere near my camp. Go on, get out of here. Go, go. Not up my bedpost. No, 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 no. You get off there. Ah, dear. So after Spidergate, I decided to clear out my area a bit more. You can see, there's another spider. Oh, it's a lizard. Thank God. So you can see it's much clearer. Much clearer. Nowhere for them to hide. And anyway, they're heat sensitive, so as soon as I get a fire going, they'll back off. But the issue is that took a lot of time and a lot of energy, and I'm dehydrated again. And I haven't collected any firewood, I guess, from the sun. Probably got about 2 hours of sunlight left, maybe. So I need to get cracking with the firewood. Anything that's dead and on the floor I can use. As long as it snaps, it's good for fire. I don't want any live branches or anything, so that's the next priority, getting the fire going. I'm not sure I'm going to have time for fishing today, unfortunately. Oh, this is great. This should go up instantly if it's breaking apart in my hand. Been out, collected my firewood. The fire has a few different stages you need to go through. So first of all, there is the tinder, the thing that catches light quickly and burns incredibly quickly. Once you've got a flame on that, then you've got to get into the kindling Small sticks that also burn quite quickly but keep a flame a bit longer. And I'm doing kindling in 2 stages, so I've got my really small sticks, they'll burn very quick. Slightly larger, they'll take a little longer. And then once you've got those going and the heat's built up, you can then add your fuel. So this is the long burning stuff, the bigger, thicker logs. I've got a pile of them over there. And what I've done to start with is I've just layered a base here. This is going to be the base of the fire. And if you allow some gaps in between, that'll allow oxygen to flow underneath the fire, because 3 things fire needs to start is heat, oxygen and fuel. And I've also got, because it's dry season here, a bunch of dry leaves. They'll ignite straight away. So for tinder, I'm going to use a few of these cotton wool balls, so they would be in my first aid kit, or any survival kit if a plane went down or anything like that. Just spread it out a little bit, break it up into chunks. As soon as a spark hits that, that's going to light up straight away. So what I'm going to want to do is to have all this close by, put on straight away, so there's no time wasted, because it's all going to happen very quickly. So I've got my ferro rod here, my fire steel. This will create sparks, and my survival knife. And let's see if this works. So I'm going to light that. When it catches, leaves go on. Small twigs, large twigs, and then the fuel. Let's see if I can get this first time. Nope. There we go. It's burning quite quickly. Let's get some leaves on. And you don't want to smother the fire. You just want to get the small sticks on there, so they're heating and starting to burn. Whew. And you get a lot of smoke in your eyes doing this. Oh man. So you can see that's starting to catch there already. Oh man. If you want to accelerate the fire, give it a little blow from the side. Just slowly build it up like a little teepee. And I've cleared all the area around, so it's largely dirt. So there's nothing for it to catch, and this is too high, the flames aren't going to go that high. So my bed should be intact. And I'm only going to create a small fire here. It's not going to be a roaring flame through the night, it's mainly just going to be embers really. And a bit of smoke, because the smoke drives the bugs away, and the heat will keep the creepy crawlies away, and that's all I need at the moment. Stick that back in my case. You can see it's catching quite nicely now. I've probably got about an hour of daylight left. I might be able to sneak in a little bit of fishing. We'll see. I'll just add the rest of these leaves on because I don't want to leave them lying around. We'll move on to the slightly bigger sticks. There you go, fire. And not many hours left in the day. I'm going to see what I can salvage from fishing. See if I can get some protein for dinner. Otherwise, no dinner tonight. I'm not overly hungry. Those embers will stay for a while. I just need to make sure I come back. I'll put on some new big logs before I go. So that's going, that'll burn until I get back. Let's see if I can catch some fish. The area where I was originally dropped off, and these grubs aren't the best, they're pretty battered. The batch of nuts I picked up wasn't the best, to be honest. So, I mean, let's see what happens. I'm not holding out much hope of being able to catch much this evening, unfortunately. They're all mangled. And also this water is a little bit too fast, I think. So, not sure if there'll be any fish to take it. Let's see. Haha! Yes! Yeah! That is a baby catfish. Amazing. Okay. Let's keep going. I haven't got much time left, maybe a few hours. Gotta be careful with these guys, they've got barbs on their fins and on their back as well. If I can keep him alive, even better. Then I might be able to use him as a bait fish later on. Oh, come on, buddy. Jesus. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna leave him. Gonna leave him alive on the bank there. Like I said, the longer I leave him alive, longer before he starts spoiling. He's not going anywhere, that's for sure. Let's see what else we can get. I hooked maybe about 4 fish there. Just couldn't. One I almost had on the bank here. Just dropped him about here. So it's unfortunate. Would have liked to have got more so I could have set up a night line. So let me see if I can maybe get some more grubs quickly. Then head back. Worst case though, I have this catfish. There's not exactly much on him, but be better than nothing, I guess. No more fish. Tried a few more grubs. Got a few fish almost landed, but no more fish. Oh god, I stink. So I've just got this one catfish. He's still alive. Okay. So I'm going to kill him, gut him, put him on a stick and slow roast him over a fire. And that's going to be my dinner. So let's get to that next. There's loads of decent firewood down by the river, so every time I go fishing, refill canteen, which I've done just now, pick up firewood, bring it back. I just need to cut a proper trail because there's so many vines and everything there. Catfish though. Okay, he's dead. See those barbs? That's why you don't want to be doing this while they're alive. He's still alive. Still alive. Okay, now he's dead. Right, need to do this quick, there's not much light left. So firstly take off the barbs. I'd ideally be doing this on a cutting board. This is a piece of bamboo. Okay, that's one. That's two. Third is on the top. There we go. Okay, gutting him. Should have thought about this. Could have probably done this down by the river so I could have washed him. Come on, get in there. Okay. Right up to the gills. Okay. God, he's quite bony. There's the entrails. There we go. There's his guts gone. Up. Clean out any red bloody bits. Okay, and he is good to be put on a stick. I'm just going to run down to the river and wash him quickly. So, reflection on day one so far. I achieved much more than I thought I would. I have to say, this fish at the end of the day is a massive morale boost. Got my shelter up, roof and bedding. I've had heart of palm, keep me going through the day. Filled up my canteen with water, had 3 or 4 of those so far. Got another one ready. And my fish is slowly cooking. All in all, good day so far. But now we move into the night when all the noises start. So we'll see how that goes. I just got to keep this fire rolling through the night, chucking on the odd big log, and hopefully it should be fine. So here's an example of just how pitch black and noisy it is in the jungle at night. So there's the back of my shelter. You can see, I'm just going to do a quick 360. I don't know how much will actually come out with this camera because it is really dark. That's my fire. And just listen to the noises. And that's without the howler monkeys, they haven't even started yet. See if I can get some film when they're on. Hopefully I'll be asleep though. So, day 2 of isolation. Managed to survive the night, thankfully. It was pitch black here, and very noisy. I mean, I had monkeys in the trees above me all night moving around. And things dropping down, landing on the shelter, so loads of noise, very little sleep. Well, actually not too bad. I mean, I'd say I probably got about 4 hours sleep overall, but it was in bursts of like 90 minutes on and off. I struggled to keep my fire going all night. A few times where you do go to sleep, you wake up, your fire's out, and then you've only got a couple embers and you have to scramble around in the dark trying to find bits of wood to stick on and start blowing it to get the oxygen through it, start the flame again. So that happened about 3 or 4 times. Thankfully there were enough embers to get it going again this morning, which is good. So yeah, survive the night. That's a big step. Just got one more night to do, then rescue tomorrow. One thing I did notice this morning when I woke up is the lack of food from yesterday. I can already feel it in my body, even after one day. So I feel my brain's slightly foggy. Energy levels just aren't where they were yesterday. So number one thing on to-do list today is protein. So fishing all day. Gonna catch some bait fish like yesterday, the small catfish. Gonna use that to trade up for bigger fish, hopefully. So it's early now, I'd say probably just after 6, given the sun's just come up, or is coming up. So I'm gonna get out there as soon as I can, start fishing, see what we can get. I need to hydrate as well. I haven't been hydrating enough. so I can do that while I'm down by the river too. But yeah, just happy I survived the night, because that was probably my main worry. Sleeping in an open shelter in a new area, pitch black. It was funny that there was one point last night where I was snapping logs in the dark to get some more firewood on the fire. It'd pretty much gone out when I'd woken up. I snapped the log and towards me it flicked a load of dirt. Then I started to feel the dirt actually moving around on my body, like it went up all over my face and my shirt, all over my arms. And it started moving and went closer to the fire and saw it wasn't actually dirt, it was termites all over me. So I had to take off my shirt, brush all the termites off me. It was a bit of a mess, really. But we got there in the end. So I think lesson learned is keep all your firewood much closer to the fire or within arm's reach of the bed. So that's another thing to do list. Number 2 is chop more firewood, because everything I chopped yesterday is now gone. I thought it would probably last me a bit longer, but no. So I need to collect a whole new pile of firewood. Right, so I'm just going to hydrate, take my malaria medication, and then cut some grubs and head on down to the river. I'm just heading down to the river now. Cut my grubs, maybe got about 10 or 12 of them. But one thing is for certain, I need this fishing trip to pay off, because if it doesn't, I'm in trouble, I think. I just feel so low energy. Even cutting those grubs took everything out of me in the walk across here. Just getting up and walking, I just feel so fatigued at the moment with the lack of sleep, lack of food. The thing is, with lack of food, they say you can go about 30 days without food, 3 without water. But to be honest, after about 20 days, you're past the point of no return. You're probably slipping into a coma. So it's realistically much less than that. I think by about 10 days, you start to lose your sight. So you need food. Yeah, so I need this fishing trip to pay off. So, after all that fishing, I caught 2 fish. So one was a semi-decent sized rockfish. He's dead already. Okay. And the other was another baby catfish. So I'm gonna save the... There's a barb stuck there. I'm gonna save the rockfish for now. Catfish though, I'm gonna see if I can trade up to something bigger, maybe a piranha or something like that. So I'm gonna cut him into 1, 2, maybe 4 pieces and see how we go with that. I've cut the catfish up into 4 pieces. What I'm gonna do here is just thread one through. It's gonna be a bit tough, the head's quite tough. So, maybe I'll try over there first. And this is just a hand line. Hope if I don't get it caught in the log. Bit more line out. This water's a bit too fast moving, I think. Yeah. Too fast moving and there's too many logs underneath there, it's going to get trapped in. Definitely piranha down here. If I can catch them is another issue, they're very quick. Have I got anything left? There's a bit left. Oh. Haha! One piece of bait, one piranha. He is well and truly hooked as well. Look at those teeth. I don't know if you can see. Right, he's getting back to shore straight away so that he doesn't drop off. Oh, I should have brought my knife up here with me. Okay, gotta do this carefully now and don't rush. Oh man, can't let him go in the water. Come on. Ah, piranhas, as the locals call them. A lot of bone in them. That's a good amount of meat versus the one piece of catfish that I gave up for him. I've still got another 3 pieces left. So hopefully I can get another 1 or 2 of these. Oh, that will be me sorted for today. Amazing. Piece number 2, another piranha, though he is barely hooked. Shit. I've got to do this old dance again. Oh man. Wish there was an easier spot to fish from. Right. So my line's getting caught. Stay still, buddy. Don't splash. Okay. Fish number 2. Let's go with fish number 1, who's pinned down there. Right, let's carefully get you off the hook. See, there's enough meat on there that might be able to be used again. Do not want to lose this guy. And do not want to lose a finger either. So one thing I didn't know about piranha before I came here is that their mouth movements are involuntary. So they swim along and their mouth just opens and closes all the time. So they can bump into you and you'll still get a bite. They won't be meaning to bite you. It's just a natural action for them. Swimming and continuously biting. Right, sort my line out. Let's see if we can get something else. So I'm on catfish piece number 3, and let's see how this goes. I mean, whatever happens already, oh, that is a caterpillar I do not want to touch. So buddy, your fish food. Yeah, whatever happens, I think I've done okay here with the two piranha and the rockfish. That's a decent enough meal for today. That'll give me some energy. Maybe I can chop down a harder palm, see how I feel in the afternoon. Things are looking good after not looking so great in the morning. And I guess that's what this is all about. You're right on the edge all the time. Sometimes a little bit of luck can swing you back in the right direction. So yeah, let's see what we get here. Heading back to camp now. Just got the 3 fish. Got a couple more bites, but didn't get any more, which is okay. I'll come back in the evening. I've still got a couple pieces of catfish left. See if I can get anything from the night fish. Right now I'm going to go back. Oh, I should have picked up some firewood. Gonna get back, set up a grill, put these to slow cook, and then just sit on my bed and watch them. Because I have zero energy at the moment. And I just need to rest. Sleep deprivation and hunger combined. I can tell my decision making is pretty poor at the moment. So I just need to focus on getting these cooked, eating them, and resting. So I have made a little grill, skewed the fish, so they're cooking nicely now. They'll take quite a while. I'm going to keep that smoked, so it will keep the flies off them, all the bugs, and also means I can eat them anytime. I mean, back at the camp we were smoking fish for like 3 days. I had 4-day-old fish, perfectly fine. As long as you take all the moisture out the meat, then it won't spoil. So that's what I'm doing, cooking it over a low heat, a lot of smoke. That'll take any moisture out of the meat, and then should be good to eat at any point. Next, I guess I'm just going to chop some firewood and then just sit back and relax, watch these cook. So at the moment I'm on a cycle of nap, wake up, flip the fish, hydrate, put sticks on the fire. You can see they're still cooking away. Probably won't be done for another hour or two. But it's a good cycle I've got myself into, and it's pushed me through that wall I hit earlier. I just need to not expend any calories doing anything, so no chopping, nothing like that. And just rest until this food's ready. Get that in me, rest a bit more. Hopefully when I'm awake then I'll have some energy again, and then I can go out, collect some firewood to last me the night, and hopefully that'll be it. If there's time I might do a bit more fishing. I've got a couple bits of catfish left. But I think after I've had these 3 fish, that should be able to do me through until rescue tomorrow. We shall see. The main thing is that it seems like a load of small ants have decided to get themselves in between all my bedding thatching. I'm constantly having to brush them off. Otherwise feeling much better than 2 or 3 hours ago, for sure. So just got to keep the cycle going. So right now I have a serious craving for a pork burrito from Oaxaca with cheese and the nachos on the side with some salsa, or a large pack of chili cheese bites from Burger King. That would be great. Might have to order one of those when I get back. And a Domino's pizza. But instead I have piranha, which actually isn't that nice. It's just full of bones. There's hardly any meat on them. More than the catfish, for sure. And it just tastes like fish. Just no real distinct flavour to it. We'll see what the rockfish tastes like. I can't imagine that'll be much better. And I'll have one piranha now. Save one piranha and one rockfish for just before bed. I think that probably makes sense. Let's see. The fire's gone out. This should be done. Looks done. Meat's dry. Let's see. I want to make sure I get every last piece of meat off this thing. Actually, first, empty back my hands. That's not the most stable thing. Things. Very bony. It's difficult to eat, it's so bony. Okay, there we go. That's a good chunk. Protein. Finally. Ha! Did not go as planned. Right. This is going to take a little bit of improvisation, I guess. fell where I wanted it to, but I don't know. Okay, let's figure this out. Almost. Ah, thank God. Didn't want to have all that effort go to waste. So it's another harder palm down. Between that and the 2 fish I got left, there should be enough food. So, just last hour or so, maybe of daylight, probably less than that actually, maybe half an hour. And then night 2 begins, the final night. Hopefully I sleep a bit more this time because I'm pretty tired already. So fish are ready to eat, so I'm going to have those now. They're just having a last little bit of smoking. I've gathered enough firewood for, I don't know if you can see that, it's probably a bit dark. Spider on the camera. For about 3 nights, so that should last me tonight. And I padded up my bed a bit more. So I had a real energy spurt after the Heart of Palm, so the energy taken to cut that tree down really was worth it, I think. Set me on a good path. So everything is sorted now, I feel comfortable, and hopefully this will push me through to the end of the isolation phase. I have no idea what time they're picking me up tomorrow. I presume it's going to be early-ish. Debatable whether I should save one of those fish for breakfast, but I think I'm just going to have them both now because I'm pretty hungry as well. So that is it. Hopefully nothing comes to visit me in the night, and then I should be through isolation. Let's see. Those are the howler monkeys. And they're gone. If you didn't know what they were, that would be a pretty scary noise to hear in pitch black darkness. So, morning, daylight's here, which means it's probably about 6 AM. Day 3 of isolation. Extraction day, thank God. Yeah, last night wasn't too bad actually. I got quite a lot of sleep. Slowly learning to drown out the sounds of the jungle. It'd be the sort of the scurrying of the leaves. You just tell yourself you hope that's a lizard. Movement in the trees above. The monkeys were throwing things down last night, which wasn't helpful. But again, you just wake up for a second and then tell your body to go straight back to sleep again. Yeah, so I got quite a lot of sleep. My fire did die down about, well, I'm guessing about an hour ago. I had to scurry around in the dark looking for firewood. Because a lot of bugs were coming in, otherwise I wouldn't have bothered. I had these big flying beetles circulating around my area here, with the smoke stripping them off. But yeah, otherwise all good. Now just gotta wait for extraction. Don't know when that will be. I presume it's going to be relatively early because I've got a 2.5k walk with all my gear loaded on a Bergen on my back, which I'm not looking forward to get back to the Eco Lodge where I can finally have a shower, change into some fresh clothes because I stink, and have a decent meal. Oh, I hope they do. This thing here called guava cheese. It's like little cubes of guava in a sweet cream. It is amazing. It is one of the nicest desserts I've ever had. I really hope they do that again. Yeah, on reflection day 2, what did I do? Not a lot. Um, fishing in the morning, followed by sitting around and napping and lying in my bed all day, just smoking the fish. Which in reflection is what you probably should do, right? So day 1 was physically exerting, getting all this shelter put up as quick as possible, collecting all my initial firewood, getting some basic food. But day 2 I woke up, I hadn't prioritised food enough, I think. I should have eaten more in day 1, but didn't have enough time to fish. And so I woke up weak. And you know, there's nothing wrong with sitting down, conserving your energy, resting, especially during the heat of the day here, in a survival situation. Because you've got to think, you have to stay put. If you're stranded out here, staying put's your best course of action, with the hope that a search party will come for you. So there's not much to do other than build shelter, find food and hydrate. The rest of the time you should just be sitting still, resting, conserving your energy. So if I had to survive here another day, I'd do exactly the same again, even though I'm full of energy now, because I ate well yesterday. But this morning I'd go down to the river, I'd try fishing again, come back with my catch, smoke it, and just sit in bed all day, because there's not much else to do. Maybe upgrade the shelter a little bit, put some new roofing in, pad out the bedding, but not much else. But glad I don't have to do any of that because the extraction team is on the way. So just got to sit back, relax until they get here. So final thoughts before the end of all this and I get picked up. This trip, and I think I have to call it a trip at this stage, not a holiday, because it has been the most mentally and physically exhausting, ridiculous, terrifying, but also enjoyable and amazing experience I think I've ever had in my life. I really pushed my body, I think, to its limits these last couple of weeks. But I've come out of it and I've proven that I can now survive. I have the tools, the knowledge to survive in one of the most hostile environments in the world, bar a war zone or something like that. And yeah, I'm really, really happy with that, because that's exactly why I came out here, just to prove that. And I've got to thank Ian for all his training. He is clearly the source of knowledge for any kind of jungle experience, especially in this region. That became very clear from the very start. He knew everything there is to know, and he is the point of contact for this region. And certainly in my travels and you know, through work and everything, I've met quite a number of interesting characters, but Ian is certainly right up there at number 1 in terms of being the most interesting person I've ever met. And maybe this probably might not be the last time we meet. We shall see. He's got a great appetite for adventure, so we'll see. Maybe there might be some more trips planned in the future. And then also thanks to the Amerindians as well. So Lionel, Damien, Paul, John, they've all been great. They've also helped me a lot with my training, and how they survive day to day in an environment like this so naturally is amazing. And a couple of highlights from the trip from Lionel for me would be obviously at night with a head torch, him pinging an arrow off to the side and catching a lava straight through its back, then having to chase through the bush to get after it. And it tasted great actually. It tasted pretty much like I'd say gammon, so really nice having that. And also, when asked what his favourite animal was, the answer was his favourite animal in the whole world. His answer was a squirrel. So those are two memories that will stay with me. And I think that's about it. I'm ready to come home now, I think. I think I'm ready for a good night's sleep in a proper bed, a hot shower, a good meal. I think food's going to taste 100 times better when I get back home now, after having eaten grubs and bony fish. So yeah, looking forward to all that. And that's it. End of the trip. Survived isolation. Hey. Ah, glad to see you guys.
How you doing? Make it?
Yeah.
You made it, man.
Thank you.
That's how it is.
Thank you.
Anything you see around? Animal, birds?
I had a big wolf spider under my bed.
Okay.
Yeah, but otherwise no. Lots of monkeys in the trees.
Oh, you saw monkeys?
They're everywhere around here. At night they're just bouncing between all the trees and dropping stuff down.
Oh, those were monkeys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was a bird.
No.
Not a food, eh?
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, that's why
What all
I
did
came
you
here.
eat?
Huh?
What all did you eat?
Had 2 heart of palm, 3 piranha.
Big piranha?
Not too big, no. Small catfish and a rockfish as well.
Damn.
Right.
I had a heart of palm and I ended up eating my biggest bait fish. I couldn't catch anything.
Ah, yeah.
I saw a fucking cat.
Did you?
Yes. A black cat. 10 feet from my shelter. I freaked out. I have not slept in the last like 24 hours. I'm so fucking scared that one went on.
But you made it.
I barely, I like, did not sleep last night. It was a struggle.
I did wonder how you would sleep with all the noises.
Like the first night was like okay, but after seeing that animal, I was like, fuck. I'm like, I can't sleep. I like put my arrows by my bed in case I needed to stab something.
Great.
Alright, Dushin, come and get you out.
Yeah.
And get your stuff. And then I take down your hard work.
Yes.
Oh, that's a nice little cooking idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to be
Were there
fancy.
other shelters around here?
No, no.
There was like a few old ones.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't see any new ones, old ones around here. Right, so we take this down.
Yeah, take down the bed. And... Mother Nature is gonna take it down. Yeah, take it down. Just hold on.
Did you slept well at night?
Catch a fire.
Yeah, about, oh yeah, the fire. About 4 or 5 hours. Last night was better. Slept maybe about 5 or 6 hours last night. All good.
The bed was alright. The shelter is not waterproof. So you get 50
No.
out of 100. Shit, 95. You even make a wall and everything.
And a fence.
A fence. Make sure the bigger cats can come closer.
Yeah, yeah. All right,
Let's go.
time to go home.